Mandir behalf of Iskcon Delhi, we would like to welcome His Grace Prithu Prabhu.
Jaya Radha Parthasarthi Lalita Visakha, Radha Parthasarthi Lalita Visakha. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Sitaram, Jaya Lakshman Hanuman, Sitaram, Jaya Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Singadev, Narsingadev, Narsingadev, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pasachade Santarini. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Guru चरण पद्मा केवल भगति सद्मा। श्री गुरु चरण पद्मा केवल भगति सद्मा। बंधु मोहि सावधान माते बंधु मोहि सावधान माते हर प्रसादे भाई हे भवतरिया जा। हर प्रसादे भाई ए भवतरिया जा। कृष्ण प्राप्ति होय जहाँ होइते कृष्ण प्राप्ति होय यहाँ होइते गुरु मुख पद्मा वाक्य चित्ते करिया क्या। गुरु मुख पद्मा वाक्य चित्ते करिया क्या। आर ना करे हमने आशा आर न करी हमने आशा। श्री गुरु चरण रति एहि से उत्तम गति। श्री गुरु चरण रति एहि से उत्तम गति। ये प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा। ये प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा। चक्षुदान दिलो जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से। चक्षुदान दिलो जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशिता दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशिता प्रेम भक्ति यहाँ होते अविद्या विनाशायते भक्ति यहाँ होते अविद्या विनाशायते वेद गाय हर चरिता वेद गाय हर चरिता श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधमा जनारा बंदो श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधमा जनारा बंदो लोकनाथ लोकेर जीवाना लोकनाथ लोकेर जीवाना हा हा प्रभु करो दया दे हमारे पादा छाया प्रभु करो दया दे हमारे पादा छाया ए बेयास गुसी त्रिभुवना ए बेयास गुसी त्रिभुवना जया प्रभुपदा 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 जय प्रभुपदा जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाशाचा देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदन श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityanandan Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Premanande.
स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन बीबीटी फाउंडर आचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट ओम विश्वपाल परमहंस परिव्रज आचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट साक्षात वैराग्य मूर्ति गौर किशोरदास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। नित्य लीला प्रवेश सच्चिदानंद भक्ति ठाकुर की जय। नित्य लीला प्रवेश वैष्णव सार्वभौम जगन्नाथ दास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। श्री रूप श्री सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जी गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ षड गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरदास ठाकुर की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। प्रेम से गौ श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम गुण राधा गुण गिरी गोवर्धन की जय। गंगा माई की जय। यमुना माई की जय। वृंद देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद ट्रांसलेटेड बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। मायापुर नवदीप धाम की जय। ब्रजमंडल वृंदावन धाम की जय। श्री श्री राधा पार्थसारथी ललिता विशाखा की जय। श्री श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की जय। श्री श्री गौरधाय पंचतत्व की जय। समवेद भक्त वृंद की जय। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द असेंबल्ड डिवोटीज हरे कृष्णा। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द असेंबल्ड डिवोटीज हरे कृष्णा। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू श्री गुरु एंड गौरंगा। हमारे गुरुदेव के चरण कमल ही एकमात्र साधन है जिनके द्वारा हम शुद्ध भक्ति प्राप्त कर सकते हैं। मैं उनके चरण कमलों में अत्यंत भक्ति एवं श्रद्धा पूर्वक नतमस्तक होता हूँ। उनकी कृपा से जीव भौतिक क्लेशों के महासागर को पार कर सकता है तथा कृष्ण की कृपा प्राप्त कर सकता है। मेरी एकमात्र इच्छा है कि उनके मुख कमल से निकले हुए शब्दों द्वारा अपनी चेतना को शुद्ध करूं। उनके चरण कमल में अनुराग ऐसी सिद्धि है जो समस्त मनोरथों को पूर्ण करती है। वे मेरी बंद आंखों को खोलते हैं तथा मेरे हृदय में दिव्य ज्ञान भरते हैं। जन जन्मांतरों में वे मेरे प्रभु हैं। वे प्रेमा भक्ति प्रदान करते हैं और अविद्या का नाश करते हैं। वैदिक शास्त्रों की चरित्र का गान करते हैं। हे गुरुदेव, हे प्रभुपाद करुणा सिंधु तथा पतित आत्माओं के मित्र, आप सबके गुरु एवं सभी लोगों के जीवन है। हे गुरुदेव, हे प्रभुपाद, मुझ पर दया कीजिए तथा मुझे अपने श्री चरणों की छाया प्रदान कीजिए। आपका यश तीनों लोकों में फैला हुआ है। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। Hare Krishna. So on behalf of Iskcon Delhi, we would like to welcome His Grace Prithu Prabhu. Hare.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Simple, Prabhu, not fancy. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Balaba Girivadadhari Yasuranandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasuranandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Come on. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. 1, 2, 3, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Nitai Gaur, Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hare Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hare Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. The Prabhupada ki Jaya, Go Premananda. Yeah, Lisa's here. Put the cover on top. I can put my computer on top. Yeah, this is good. Leave it like this. Perfect. Yeah. Good enough. No, that's it. The glass. Warm water. Hi Krishna. It's nice to be in Delhi again. This temple has changed quite a bit. I remember when I came first time to saw the deities, that was more than 50 years ago. And was more than 50 years ago that the deities were, I think, in Lajpat Nagar. Lajpat Nagar. Something on a rooftop. On a rooftop there was a little hut, 6 by 6. What was that? Bengali mark. On a rooftop in a little construction out of stone, 6 by 6 meters. And Prabhupada was there, and we were just 5, 6 brahmacharis and chanting samsara prayers early in the morning on the rooftop. And from there we went to east of Kailash, isn't it? They went to so many places. Yeah, and now they're here. So we are very fortunate to still be alive after so many years and still keep going. And you should do the same. You should do the same, you know. Once we are here in Krishna consciousness, we are extremely fortunate. If you think about it, your friend... Huh?
You are from Germany. People want to hear how a German fighter can become Hare Krishna devotee.
Well, one person asked me one time, what is the secret that after all these years you're still here? What is your secret? And the secret is very simple. I never left. I never left. Because it is sometimes very difficult. You will encounter great difficulties at times. But we have to stick to it. We have to stick to it. No matter how difficult it is, because this is the best thing that can ever happen to anybody, that he becomes a devotee. The best thing. There's no comparison to anything. Think of your friends in class, in school, first class, primary school. You remember still some names?
Yes.
Where's everybody? Secondary school, where's everybody? From there you can go to high school, where's everybody? Everyone. University, where's everybody? Everybody went this way and that way. You know, it's like on a tree. You climb up a tree, there's the first choice, first branch, second branch, etc. And every time half of the people go into the other side. And then on this tree, on the top twig, there's one mango. And somehow or other we reached, although there were many choices, many possibilities to go, we reached right in front of this mango, which is now in the temple. Mango is in reach. Prabhupada said, I gave you the ticket. I gave you the ticket to go back to Godhead, but you have to work for the visa. We have to work for the visa. So we have to work for the visa, and we should never stop working for the visa. We should never stop. And use the rest of our life. That's my plan also. The rest of our life to simply do that Yadadikataka Krishna Upadesh. When Prabhupada came to London, we were all young devotees, fit, 25 years old. And he asked us what is the most important verse. And some other, I was reading in Chaitanya Charitamrita in the morning, so I said to Prabhupada, Yadadikataka Krishna Upadesh. And Prabhupada said, that is a business. He said, that's our business, to preach Krishna consciousness. Krishna, like every human being, has a soft spot. It may be somebody likes khichdi, somebody else likes burfi, somebody's rasgulla, somebody likes girls, somebody likes boys. I mean, somebody likes dogs. Everybody has something that he's fond upon. So this soft spot comes from Krishna. It is in Krishna. We couldn't have a soft spot unless Krishna has a soft spot. Now, what is a soft spot in Krishna? It's very simple. Yaidam paramam guyamam prteshu bodhasyati, that verse. That one who preaches his message is most dear to me, no one is more dear to me than him, nor will there ever be one more dear. Do we have to hear anything more? Do we have to hear anything more? That's exactly what is for Krishna is the sweetest. That somebody actually preaches Krishna consciousness. So that's what we have to do. And in this way, when we preach Krishna consciousness, when we fix our mind on Krishna, Krishna explains it in Bhagavad Gita, that Machita Sarvadurgani, if you fix your mind upon me in all troubles of the world, Machita Sarvadurgani, all difficulties, Matprasaram Charishyasi, by my mercy will be destroyed. In this way, Prabhupada could do the unimaginable. If you see this temple, this is just one temple among so many temples that are all based on Prabhupada's surrender to Krishna. Bhavananda was asking Prabhupada when we were living just in the straw hut. Prabhupada talked about building the temple, a huge temple he said we have to build with a planetarium, Vedic planetarium. And Bhavananda Prabhu said, well, Prabhupada, we don't have even the money to pay for the khichdi. How are we going to build this temple? And Prabhupada said, here's the secret. He said, all you have to do is to please Radha Madhava. If you please our Madhava, he is the husband of the goddess of fortune. Everything comes to you automatically. Automatically. This is the way how we do things. This is how we do things, that we have to appeal for Krishna's mercy in all things. Even Haridas Thakur, he said in Harinam Sintamani, that no one in this world is able to chant the Hare Krishna mantra without distraction. No one. He said such victory is only possible by the mercy of the Lord. There you have it. That mercy we have to get. And we have to qualify for this mercy. It's not that we stand there and just open our shirt and say, my dear Lord, give me mercy. Like generally when people come to the temple, they ask, oh, give me this blessing, that blessing, that blessing, this blessing. But what we will do for Krishna? What will we do for Krishna? That is the point. What will we do? One time, let me just see if I can find it. One time our Pradyumna, he asked this question. 1 second. Where are we here? Pradyumna asked this question. What if people do not want to hear our message? Which is true. Most people don't want to hear. Most people go to the temple, give me this, give me that, give me this, give me that, house by the sea, Kalativi Jaya Jagati Jare. Basically speaking, give me. Because the world is full of living entities in the material world. Their modus operandi, the way how they work, is to take from God. You know, most of the time people don't say thank you very much. They just take. And then when disaster strikes, they say, where's God? Why doesn't he help me? So Prabhupada's mood was completely opposite. So when Pradyumna asked this question, Srila Prabhupada, the people might not understand our message. Prabhupada said, the people might not understand our message, but Krishna will be pleased. But Krishna will be pleased. Then he talked about Jesus. He said, they thought that Jesus' mission was stopped. They killed him, but his mission was attained. He preached 3 years only, but so many followers. I mean, how is it possible that somebody has so many followers without being, having pleased God? The Prabhupada said that he pleased Krishna. Then he says, this is a message for all of us. We must never be disappointed, even if no one is hearing Krishna consciousness. We will say to the moon, we'll say to the stars and to all directions. We will cry in the wilderness, because Krishna is everywhere. We want to have a certificate from Krishna that this man has done something for me. That's the point. That somebody has done something for me. Who has done more for Krishna than Prabhupada? Who more? You know? He said, not popularity. If a pack of asses say you're very good, what is the use? So he was not interested in popularity, what people think. He was interested in pleasing Krishna, and from there everything flows. Sometimes we try to be popular with people, and we are sacrificing our own understanding, our own standards, our own values, just to please people. But we have to please Krishna. That's the main thing. That's our mission in life. And from that, everything goes. Like he said, if a pack of asses says you're very good, what is the use? So Prabhupada is a prime person who did the most and was the most humble at the same time. Most humble. I have a personal experience of that. At one time we went to the University of Stockholm, and it's a very egalitarian university. That means everybody is Leninist, Marxist, Naxalite, anarchist, Maoist, Ho Chi Minhist, or whatever. Everything is left. And all these people agree on one thing. Although they don't disagree with each other, there are so many different groups and splinter groups, they agree classless society. There's only one class, you know. And Prabhupada went in there and he had no idea that what he was walking into. Nobody told him. And we didn't know either. And so Prabhupada sat down and he sang Jaya Radha Madhava and looked over his spectacles. And then he said, so, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Chatuvanama Shitam Guna Karma Vibhagasaha, there are 4 classes of men, which is an absolute poison in the ear of those people. And he kept talking. There's 1st class men, 2nd class men, 3rd class men, 4th class men. And the Brahmana, the Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra, 1st class men, does this say? I mean, people were outraged. One person stood up, very angry, and he said, of course you think you're 1st class, Swamiji. You sit on a high throne, covered with flowers, everybody bows down in front of you. Are you saying you're 1st class? I was sitting there, I was about to jump up and strangle him to death. I was so angry, my blood was boiling. Somebody being so offensive to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada said, no. He said, you misunderstand me. You totally misunderstand me. He said, I'm actually 5th class. There was dead silence in the room. Dead silence. And then Prabhupada said, he said, because I'm the servant of everyone. And then 2 big tears came down his cheeks. I could see it because I was just sitting there. 2 big tears. It was so beautiful to see that although he was definitely 1st class, he was the person, predicted, even in the 15th century, as the person, most humble at the same time. This brings me to a situation that I would like to talk with you, since we are talking about Srila Prabhupada. Give me 1 second. Prabhupada is predicted in so many ways. I'll give you just an example. It is said in Chaitanya Mangala, taking the sword of the congregation chanting, I will destroy the demoniac mentalities of the hearts of the conditioned souls. If some sinful people escape and give up religions to go to other countries, my Senapati Bhakta will appear and distribute this knowledge everywhere. Prithiviti Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Then we, of course, hear that it is stated, here it is stated, that Bhaktisiddhanta, he gave a lecture one time on preaching Krishna consciousness. And one godbrother of Prabhupada, Nayananda Das Babaji, explained that while he was talking, he was attentively looking into one area. He was standing there. He looked behind, there was Prabhupada standing. And Bhaktisiddhanta said, he said, there is one among you who will preach Krishna consciousness. He will go out of India, he will cross the ocean and preach Krishna consciousness all over the world. He said that. So that was Prabhupada standing right there. And Prabhupada himself, he said he will bring the whole world to God. Now that's 1935 also, his disciple Sridhar Maharaj said that in time he will do everything. Don't disturb him. In time he will do everything. And then Prabhupada himself, he said, in my horoscope, there was written, after 70 years this man will go outside India and establish many temples. I could not understand what that means. What is that? I go outside of India? This is not possible. But Guru Maharaj foretold. He told my godbrothers, he will do the needful when time comes. And after all this became true. Guru Maharaj told, in the beginning, very gradually, he told, you have to do this. And Prabhupada did it. Very, very special person. And Prabhupada has created all our good fortune. Everybody who is here in this room, everybody hears his good fortune is given by Prabhupada. Brahmana Brahmini Kona Bhagyavan Jiva, the soul becomes fortunate by the mercy of the spiritual master who sows a seed in the heart of the devotees. We are very extremely fortunate people. And so at one stage I did ask Prabhupada this question, because if there's any qualification there from past life, and there's a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, this goes Aho Bhatta, etc., that even the lectures will come to the chanting, and it keeps following, that those who chant the holy name of the Lord, it says in that verse from Bhagavatam, he has visited all the holy places of India, and took bath in all the holy rivers of India. And so I was curious, I was translating Bhagavad Gita at that time, asked Srila Prabhupada, so in other words, I've been in India in my last life. And Prabhupada smiled. He said, actually, what actually happened is that I have created your good fortune. You see, I have created your good fortune. Because if you think about it, it took a long time that the Hare Krishna mantra became the property of everyone. It took a long time. Krishna had predicted already in Brahmavavata Purana to Ganga Devi that she was worried that once Krishna goes back to the spiritual sky, he said, all these people, these karmis will deposit their sins in my river. What would happen to me? I will go down to Patala. And Krishna says, don't worry, there's plan number B. And that plan number B was, he said, there's chanting of Hare Krishna mantra all over the world. People read Srimad Bhagavatam. As it says in Bhagavatam, this Bhagavatam will cause a revolution in mankind. People offer their food in Krishna. This will last for 10,000 years. And so people, it took some time. 5,000 years this was predicted to go. 500 years ago, Lord Chaitanya appeared. And he actually put this into action, this plan B. Before, the Hare Krishna mantra, although it was known, but it was a secret. It was not public knowledge. All mantras addressing the Supreme Personality of Godhead were not public knowledge. Like who was it? Ramanujacharya. His guru told him this Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya mantra and told him, don't... Huh? Who? Om Namo Narayan, that's what it was, you know. And he went on the roof and told everybody, his Guru Maharaj told him, how can he do that? It's a secret mantra. He said, well, it saves everyone. So you can see that there was some secrecy around the Hare Krishna mantra. And yes, as it says in Bhagavatam, to chant the Hare Krishna mantra, one had to perform all these things, namely to go to all the holy rivers, etc., and take bath and go to a place of pilgrimage. But Lord Chaitanya was a game changer. He changed the whole game. He broke open the stores of love of Godhead and made the Hare Krishna mantra available to everybody without any discrimination. That's a revolutionary thing about it, without discrimination. And so Prabhupada did that. He is the #1 messenger of Lord Chaitanya to actually do that. He went everywhere and he preached in Western countries to all kinds of people who certainly were not fit on the platform of spiritual life. And he brought them all the way up to spiritual life. And from there, the revolution went to India. And now, in the beginning, we had only village boys in the temple. I just talked to the temple president of, Mangalore. And he told me that he started a temple there 3 years ago. I actually knew him from preaching Kanpur, IIT Kanpur, something like 40 years ago, 30 years ago. And I said, so what's going on? What's happening? He said, we started Bhagavad Gita course on Bhagavad Gita. He said, after 3 months we had 10,000 people. Now we have 880,000 people taking this course. He said, we have 150 university professors chanting Hare Krishna. We have 4,000 people chanting 16 rounds every single day without fail. Think about that. It's happening. It's happening big time. And so, as Lord Chaitanya desired that every Indian person should go to Western countries and preach all over the world, actually. So there you have your mission right there. Become very well trained and save the people of the world. You're not limited to preach in India. You're meant to preach everywhere, in all the countries. And, because the standard of knowledge among devotees in Indian, even in Indian trainees, is very high. I mean, I've seen some Indian sannyasis there preaching. It's just awesome. Completely, when I hear him preaching, his preaching is so eloquent. You see, you have a mission. This is actually the mission. Prabhupada went to the West because he couldn't do anything in India. They were all Hindus. Hindu means you go to the temple and pray for blessings. That's what everybody does. Sometimes the devotee will, some person, Swamiji, please give me your blessing. Prabhupada said, what will you do for me? Because generally people want to take something. Take something, take. So Prabhupada was giving, and he couldn't find any people because Hindus don't understand Lord Chaitanya's mission. The Jiva Doya, namely to save the world. They don't understand. Generally they're very much concerned with the household and all these things in their gotra and whatever happens in their vicinity. But Prabhupada's mission was different. It was the mission of Lord Chaitanya. Yadade Gita Ka Krishna Upadesh. I mean, I was just in Africa. I give you an example. It was a shock of my life that in one temple, I asked the head of the security department, a black devotee, person, not devotee, but person. I said, how long you do this job? He said, 16 years. I said, who is Krishna? He said, I don't know. Think about that. The person right next door. Nobody thought about him to explain who's Krishna. He's a Christian. Christianity is a devotional tradition, is a Pakrita Bhaktas, but you should love your Lord with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. What is that? That's bhakti. So after preaching to him for 10 minutes, he was about to shave his head. So Yadadika, wherever you go, you have to preach. Whoever you meet. You have to have some discretion whether people are able to take it, of course. It's no use to talk to somebody. You go to some guest comes and you preach to him, and then after half an hour you say, did you understand it? He said, Hindi nay. Hindi nay. So you have to ask people, ask some questions like Prabhupada always would do. He always asked questions. When Prabhupada met one famous Buddhist, Professor Durkheim in Germany, very highly decorated person by the government, ambassador of Germany to Japan. At that time he entered, when the war started, he entered a Zen Buddhist monastery and started studying Zen Buddhism, and he became the #1 person bringing Zen Buddhism to the Western world. Very famous man, from a very big noble family, aristocratic family. And so when he met Prabhupada, initially he was nervous, and Prabhupada said, now what is your philosophy, Miss Professor Durkheim? And he spoke, beautiful Zen Buddhist philosophy. And Prabhupada said, well, what is traveling from body to body? You believe in reincarnation. Buddhists believe in reincarnation. What is going from body to body? What is the answer? The mind. Which is true. Yam yama pismlam bhavam tyajati antakalevaram. The mind goes from body. But that's proper. That's only one wheel of the car. There's mind, there's intelligence, there's false ego. Identification with the gross body. Stula sarira, subtle body, linga sarira. So it is a passenger who goes. The professor, who's a passenger? Said, you. The soul. Then Prabhupada explained to him the glories of the soul. That you have to understand, and you do, that you're not the body. Lesson number 2, you're a spirit soul. Lesson number 3, you're part of God. Lesson number 4, and your duty is to serve God. These are the 4 things that he explained to Professor Durkheim. He repeated it again and again, Prabhupada, to make this point very clear. Because in Buddhism there is no concept of soul. Just like in Christianity, Muslim religion, Jewish religion, there is no clear concept of soul. No defined understanding. What is soul? Krishna says, the foolish don't understand how the soul is leaving the body, living, etc. One who has eyes trained in knowledge, he can see all that. People's eyes are not trained in knowledge. They speculate on the soul. Some look at the soul as amazing, some describe him as amazing, some hear of him as, and others can't understand. That's 90% of humanity, practically speaking. They don't understand what is soul. No clear, defined understanding. And that's why they can't understand why the innocent suffer. The innocent are not innocent, not even a child. Because karma deva nechina, according to his karma of his past life, he's getting a particular body. If he were able to cross the threshold of death and birth and death, and you see the past life of a person, you can understand very clearly why somebody is born in these circumstances or those circumstances. But if you have no understanding of the soul going from body to body, eternally, never was a time that I did not exist, nor you, nor any of these living beings, Krishna says. For the soul, there's never birth nor death. He who is born will die, and who dies will be born. All this is common sense for devotees, really, because we read Bhagavad Gita. But people in general cannot understand this, and they become atheists, because they cannot understand why the innocent suffer in the presence of a pure God. This question arose actually in a concentration camp in Germany, in a Jewish, where loads of people were suffering unimaginable pains and deprivation. So the Jewish rabbis, they formed a court case. And one person played God, another one played the prosecutor, another one played the judge. And the charges were brought against God. Why is it that we suffer? So what is their conclusion? They say, we understand that God is everywhere. He's omnipresent, omniscient, he knows everything. Omnipotent, he's all-powerful. They agree with that, Christians will agree with that. And how is it possible in the presence of a person who knows everything that people are suffering like mad? How is it possible? And here's the answer. God is all-powerful. If he's all-powerful, he doesn't know what's going on here. And if he knows what's going on, he is not all-powerful. He can't do anything about it. So this was their cop-out. This was their cop-out. God is innocent. We know that God is certainly innocent, but he's totally impartial. Samoham savabhutisho name dresthyotina priya. I'm equal to all, whoever. Very clearly Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, he's equal to all. Then how is it that somebody has everything, somebody has nothing? I asked this question when I was 10 years old. I asked my priest, and he couldn't give the answer. A very simple question. How is it possible? I became an atheist at 10 because of it. Not being able to get an answer. So you can only get an answer if you have clear understanding, defined understanding of soul. You just have to get yourself a Bhagavad Gita, sit down, read the second chapter, and you're all set. It's very simple. And if you don't, you have no knowledge. And if you have no knowledge, you cannot understand anything. So that knowledge is Aham Brahmasmi, that I'm Brahman. That's the first step in Vedanta Sutra. If you do not know ABC, you can never be able to understand Shakespeare. That's the bottom line, ABC. So the bottom line of knowledge, the first lesson you learn in the kindergarten of spirituality is Aham Brahmasmi, that I'm eternal, that I'm a soul, that I go from one form to another eternally, all based on my own doing. Therefore, I cannot complain. I cannot complain if this happens to me or that. Ultimately, it is God who is appearing in our life at every moment. And so a devotee who is in distress, he understands that distress is not to be understood outside the jurisdiction of God. Not to be understood. When devotee is in distress, he sees that the Lord has come to me in this particular form so that I learn my lessons, either voluntarily or by force. If you learn by suffering, that is one way to learn, that is second-class way to learn, right? That's the second class. What is the best way of learning? By hearing. By hearing. If you don't hear, then you have to feel, you have to experience. Wenn ich hören, my father used to say, wer nicht hören will, muss fühlen. He who doesn't hear, he must feel the pain. There's no other way. You see? So we have knowledge. Prabhupada gave us his knowledge. He went all over the world to preach Krishna consciousness up to the end. And so yes, it was very true when he said to me that I created a good fortune, and he didn't just create my good fortune, he created everybody's good fortune, but we have to take to it. We have to take to it. That's what we have to do. We have to take to Krishna consciousness. And then everything will become very clear. In due course of time, we walk out of this forest of delusion. Without coming to hearing or understanding realities through scripture, it is not possible. There's Guru, Shastra and Sadhu. We have to hear. Ya Shastra vidimuchi javatati kamakarata. Na sasidima bhavnatina sukam na paramgatim. We have to hear. Just like these people in the university. There are 4 classes of men. And everyone has his duty. There are 4 classes, even a Varnashram Dharma system, that's what it's all about. That everybody has his duty. As a brahmachari, one duty. As a household, another. As a vanaprastha, another. As a sannyas, again another duty. In one sense, this is a lecture of today. It says here in the verse, in the last verse, that, what is this verse? Are we on the same page here? Yeah. So Prabhupada, in the end it is said that of this verse, Lord Brahma said, O best of the demigods, unfortunately because of madness resulting from your opulence, you failed to perceive Brihaspati properly when he came to your assembly, because he is aware of the Supreme Brahman, in full control of the senses, he is the best of the Brahmanas. It is astonishing that you have acted imprudently towards him, because in life we have to have discretion. It's true, in one sense, Vidya Vinaya Sampani Brahmani Gamayasini, that the soul is in all creatures. It's true that there's oneness there. We are all spiritual. But at the same time, we are also different. And that's called discretion, that we know how to do things, how to act as a man. I give you the perfect example is that what happens if we do not follow scripture and start speculating. It leads to disaster. The best example is really the French Revolution. French Revolution established 3 things. Egalité, everybody is equal. Fraternity, we are all brothers. And equality, we are all equal. And so the revolution started to kill itself. People were assassinated left and right. Rich people were assassinated. Everybody rich, everybody royal. The king of France was killed publicly. Tear the king down. We are all equal. Then destroy all the rich people. Assassinate them. Robespierre was a leader of the French Revolution. He assassinated 19,000 people in 1 year before he was killed himself. It all started out as noble principles. Egalité, everyone is equal. In the spiritual world, yes. Everyone is equal in that sense. They're all servants of Krishna. Every single one is acting on that platform. And brotherhood is there. Prabhupada says if we all recognize one God, then automatically we are brothers, not otherwise. You see, not otherwise we can be brothers. Equality, what else was there? Liberty. Freedom also is only possible when we are free from sense perception, when we are free from the evil of being controlled by our mind and by our senses. There's freedom there. Communism is another example, making everybody equal. How many people have been killed? in communism. 40 million just in Russia, 40 million just in China. These are very high principles. And to have that discretion how to apply these principles, we have to have some discrimination. Just like, for example, a dog and a king is equal, in that sense that they're both spiritual soul. But you don't put a dog beside the king. You know, there's similarities there. The king lives in a house, the dog lives in a house. Both houses have 4 walls. Both houses have a roof on the top, right? Both people have both buildings have a door to get in and out. But that's where the similarity ends. One is a dog hut and one is a king's palace. So we have to have this discretion to understand. Yes, we are all equal in one sense, but when we are here on this earth, we have to work within Varnashram Dharma. Krishna is God himself. He bows down in front of Yudhishthira. He had a friendly relationship with Arjuna. He took worship from Sahadev and Nakula. He took worship. So in the same way, we are not equal. In the same way, men and women. Just see, modern world has, particularly in America, preaches equality. What disasters! All the families are breaking. All the families are breaking. Husbands run away from their husband. Breaking because of this idea of men and women are equal. They're not equal. They're equal spiritually, but different in service. It is dangerous to follow somebody else's path, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. It's dangerous. I can only give the example in my own family. I come from a very conservative, super conservative Christian family, maybe Christians, maybe not on the platform of Krishna Bhakti, but I have never heard a single argument in my whole life between my mother and my father. Not once. Their positions were completely defined. Completely defined. He had his work, she had her work. She took care of the children and the rest of the house and all her duties, and he took care of his business. And so there was harmony. Although we were 7 children, who lived in a family of 7 children? Many children. Lift your hand. I want to hear. Is there anybody here who had 7 children at home? You know how that's like? It's like living in a zoo. I'm still fighting with my brother when I come home. Immediately he starts arguing, asking me how much you have in your bank account. So, but all was very harmoniously conducted because the roles were completely clear. So in the material world, yes, we are all the same, but we have to play roles. You know, we have to play roles as a brahmachari, as a sannyasi, as a vanaprastha, as a householder. You have to play your roles. As a householder, you can have children. You know, the gopis were doing the most ordinary work that everybody else is doing, namely making ghee and making butter and cooking and cleaning and taking care of the children. Everybody else does that, isn't it? Ordinary deal, but their mind was fixed on Krishna. While they're doing all these things, their mind was on Krishna. I do this for Krishna, I do this for Krishna, I cook for Krishna, I clean for Krishna, I make butter for Krishna, I make this for Krishna, that. All day they were engaged meditating about Krishna, and therefore they were Krishna consciousness. In household also, if a husband and wife, if they're devotees, their life is one way. If they're not devotees, then the house is a prison. A karmi house is a prison. And the mind and the senses, they're like thieves, taking your life away in material life. Even if you start chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare, then Maya comes and Facebook, YouTube. Mind and senses are thieves. And the attachment to children is a foot shackle. This is a verse from Bhagavatam. Foot shackles, right? But not in Krishna consciousness, because it's a great program to raise children in Krishna consciousness. It's your Bhakta program right there. The house becomes a temple, the mind and the senses become engaged in Krishna's service, and the children become a bhakta program. It's a very good engagement. Very good. If you see how many devotees come from devotees' families now, it gives them this platform to start their life in. A family where the children never see a piece of meat in their whole life. So how important it is to be a householder. How important it is to be a brahmachari. How important it is to be a vanaprastha. How important it is to be a sannyas. So although we are all one, in that sense we are all spirit, but at the same time there's discretion. There has to be discretion. We have to have discretion. We have to see that Mahabhagavata, he sees everything as equal. But then for preaching, we see the envious on one side and we see the innocent on the other side, etc., etc. And then the Kanishta Adhikaris, he sees only I and my church. And for God, he shoots people into the back. You see, so we have to use discretion, and this discretion we can learn by hearing from Shastra. And at the end of the day, it is not a matter of your opinion or my opinion, or what the newspapers say. Krishna's opinion is final. And in Krishna consciousness, no other opinion is allowed. As simple as that. So in the same way, in the Hare Krishna movement, Prabhupada's opinion is final. And no other opinion is allowed. If there's one as an authority, that's the only one how we can all be one. We may be different colors, we may be in different countries. There has to be one as an authority. Not that I think like this and I think in my opinion this and in my opinion like that. Speculation. One time a devotee said to Srila Prabhupada, sometimes I'm thinking, and Prabhupada said, don't do that. Right? He was speculating. Arjuna was speculating on the battlefield. He became overcome with grief when he saw his relatives. He didn't want to fight. He said, Krishna, I will not fight. Those who destroy the family tradition, they will live in hell. That was the argument. He became overwhelmed by grief. And then Krishna said, how can these impurities come upon you? They do not behave somebody who knows the higher values of life. Why would he say that? Impurities. Arjuna had a noble reason. He was driven by compassion. That's a good reason. But it was foolish compassion. Just like, for example, say your father is a policeman. And your father sees how the uncle breaks into the shop. And then his mind is, I can't do anything. This is my uncle, you know. If the superior finds out, he would say, how can these impurities come upon you? You have a duty. Your duty is to rest your uncle. Right? Not that let's push it under the table, you know. Connection is everything. Like sambandha, due to sambandha. There's sambandha and there's bakshish, and this is where everything goes. Right? That's an impurity. He has his duty to fulfill as a policeman. A husband has his duty, wife has his duty, everybody has his prescribed duty. That's what Krishna calls it. There's actually even verses in Bhagavad Gita where he says it. Let me see if I can find it. Huh? One second. Let me see what I have here. What was that verse?
Better to perform one's own prescribed duty even if it is fraught with defect and someone else's duty perfectly.
Yeah. Everybody is prescribed. It's dangerous to follow somebody else's path. So if in our American country, women want to be men, and men want to be women. You know, in Denmark, every citizen is allowed to have 2 passports. In one passport he's called Sven, it's a boy. Another one is called Svenya. He's a woman. Think about that. Think about it. Huh? You can have two passports, one as a boy and one as a girl. Same man. You can be Sven, in one passport he's Sven, in another one he's Svenya. Katam Pagal. Right? Katam Pagal. It's bizarre. You know, this idea of making everybody equal is causing a disaster. Not only just in the world, it will cause a disaster in Iskcon. It causes a disastrous idea that everybody has to follow his path and do his duty. That is the idea. Then we can live in an ideal society, and our society is meant to set that example to the whole world. That is the idea. Prabhupada came for cultural conquest. What is that cultural conquest? He was presenting Vedic culture, an ancient culture. Since time immemorial, even on the highest level, Radharani, Srimati Radharani never says to Krishna, my dear Krishna, why are all the universes coming from your pores? What about myself? I want to stay on the battlefield. How come only you stand on the battlefield? That's not fair. Right? So even in the spiritual world, people follow a clear, defined understanding of playing roles. Although they're all, in the ultimate issue, everybody is one soul. In fact, when Prabhupada talks about it one time, he says, in fact, there's only one living entity. There are not many living entities, there's only one living entity, and that's God. And we are just his parts and parcels. We are expansions of his. I never heard that in church. There's only one living being. So we have a very wonderful philosophy that encompasses everything, embraces everything. At the same time, we have clear understanding, discretion, what is what. And one time, Prabhupada, when he was in Germany, he spoke to one huge Christian professor. And Prabhupada said, what is your philosophy? And he spoke Christian theology. Nobody comes to the Father but through me, for example. The classic. There's some truth in it. Because if you our enlightened commentary on that is, yes, that's also true. Because yasya prasada bhagavad prasada isya prasada nagati katopi. But that doesn't make Jesus God. He's still Jiva. He's not Vishnu Tattva. You see, we can define all these things. We can give them a knowledgeable and educated opinion on such a sentence. It is a sentence that is true everywhere, that you have to go through the representative of God. It's true at all times. Krishna took knowledge from Sandipani Moon. Lord Chaitanya, same way. Arjuna, same way. You have to go to a spiritual master. That's a universal principle. But if you make it sectarian, then you have a sectarian interpretation of a universal principle, and you cut out everybody else, saying nobody comes to the Father but through me, therefore only Christians are saved. That means you're Kanishta Adhikari. It's on the platform of Kanishta. You have no knowledge. So the professor was telling Prabhupada all these things. Nobody comes to the Father, I'm the light, I'm the truth, and all these things. And after some time, Prabhupada started yawning. So the professor understood he was tired. And then he said, Swamiji, what do you think? And you know what Prabhupada's answer was? He said, 2,000 years have passed, and still you people don't understand Jesus. I was in a shock. Sitting right there, the translator. Still you don't understand Jesus. The man said, why? Prabhupada said, if you understand Jesus, you can understand Krishna. If you understand Krishna, you can understand Jesus. If you want to love Jesus, you also have to love Krishna, God. After all, it says you should love your Lord with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your strength. And if you love Jesus, automatically love Krishna. Now, if you tell me that you want to love only Jesus and not Krishna, what does that mean? Prabhupada said, that means you have no knowledge. That's what it is, no knowledge. Without transcendental knowledge, we cannot understand what is what. We cannot understand how are we supposed to live in the material world. You cannot understand. You cannot understand what it means to be on the spiritual platform, while at the same time probably doing the most ordinary duties. I remember when I was a student, I had to work in the holidays. Every student has to make some money. And so I worked on the building side. It's very easy to get a job. There's 5, 10 students there and do the most ordinary work. And somehow or other I read this book on karma yoga, that whatever you do for God. And so yes, I put my bricks into the barrel. All day I was in heaven. I was meditating like this all day. And I was so happy, and the workers asked me, how come you're so happy? I said, I love this work. I said, how can you love this work? We hate this work. What's your secret? And I told them, I cannot tell you, because they can't understand it. They can't understand that principle. Now that's still karma yoga. If you do something because, why did I do it? Ultimately, to get some money. You paid. That's karma yoga. If you do this not for any money, any personal, if you do this for Krishna, that's bhakti. That's the difference right there. There's bhakti right there. And so whatever we do, yes, we should do for Krishna. That's our idea. We should preach for Krishna. Most important, We should develop strong spiritual life for Krishna. We should rise in the morning for Krishna, go to bed for Krishna, sing, dance for Krishna. That's our life. And so you become stronger. You become stronger and stronger and stronger in spiritual life. Even in my own case, I can do things now that I couldn't do 20 or 30 or 40 years ago. You become stronger. You develop like this. And ultimately, Krishna will save us all. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Go Premananda Hari Bol. Question, yeah.
Prabhu, you did not reply my first question.
Huh?
Reply. How did you join as a German strong personality and become devotee?
How? I?
Yeah.
Huh? Very simple. I was desperate. I was suffering. Most people learn through suffering. I was suffering so much. So in my depressions and my anxiety and my suffering, I thought the only solution is to find God. So I was looking for it. And I realized at one stage that yes, the conclusion is to love God is a perfection of life. So I thought by myself, where do I find this? Where is their group? I told my mother I would probably join a monastic group. Maybe they have a shaved head. I was thinking of Buddhists. So one day, this is my personal story since you asked me, I felt I was, asking myself, how do I find the truth? I felt driven out of the door, and I knew this is it. This is the moment. Somehow I understood. And I saw my friend coming down the mountain, and I said to him, you have something. Not that I said it, I heard myself saying, it was unreal. You have something. He said, no, I don't have anything. You have something in your pocket. I said, no. He said, you have something. Give me that book. And he pulled out a book, It was Ishupanishad. I read that book overnight in a train to Paris. When I reached Paris, 4 o'clock in the morning, I said, that's it. That's it. This is exactly what I want. And when I read the 4 regulative principles, that convinced me more than anything. I said, yes, this is very hardcore. These people are not fooling around. And so a day later, I found the temple.
In Paris?
I knocked at the door.
No, in the Paris you found the temple.
I went to Paris. First temple I was in Paris.
Radha Paris sister.
No, it was not there yet. It was a very simple, it was just a Warni Thai picture on the, Panchatattva picture on the wall, maybe even Jagannath. This lady, what's her name? The French lady, what's her name? Mandokini was there. And she said, oh Peter, I was eating, I was cooking for you, very, very nice food, take some more of this, very, very nice. And so later I went to Hamburg, same evening still. I went in the morning to the temple, I asked people to shave my head, and by 12 o'clock I was receiving the same book I got 3 days before. It's very simple. There was the 1st of January 1972, and I'm still at it. So many of our devotees of that generation have amazing stories. Amazing. It's just, the whole thing was really supernatural. And I know many devotees who had very supernatural experiences on the way to Krishna. And so if we keep going, we'll have more supernatural experiences. Same will happen to you. You know, we'll see that all of a sudden a door opens. And you look behind the door and wonder who opened the door. You don't see anybody. You don't see that everything that happens at every moment is a long arm of Krishna. Everything what happens, even a war, it's a long arm of Krishna. We see only the fingertips. You know, but not a blade of grass can move without God's sanction. Nobody can understand the plan of the Lord. Why this, why that? But in due course of time we will understand. Whatever happens at every moment is for our own good. It's for our own good. Therefore Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, let me see if I can find it. He said something very special. He said, as far as other people is concerned, even as far as other devotees is concerned, he said, first look at your own conditions. We may see a fault in somebody else. Prabhupada said, every human being has some fault and some glory. Prabhupada said, every human being has some fault and some glory. So Bhaktisiddhanta said, oops. He said, first look at your own condition and try to purify yourself. Is there any lust in you? Is there any deceit in you? Be worried for us. Be worried for that. Don't worry about others. Sri Guru and Lord Krishna are responsible for others. They're perfectly enabled to take care of everybody else. So we have to take care of ourselves, meaning Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, and preach Krishna consciousness. And Krishna will not only save us, he will save the whole world. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Go Premananda dear.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
He has a question.
I think it's fine. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Another question is good. Come on, baby, light my fire.
Prabhuji, like we know that you had a good fortune in November 1977, if I'm not wrong. You got an opportunity to perform Kirtan in front of Srila Prabhupada in his room when Srila Prabhupada was
Yes.
like about to go from this world.
Yes.
So if you could share some of his like memories, nice memories with us.
How that happened?
No, some memories if you could share with us.
What?
Some memories you want to share from that.
Yeah, it was a very special moment that Prabhupada was leaving his body and he asked every yatra to send somebody. And somehow or other, I don't know why, I was sent. And so I came in Prabhupada's room and immediately Prabhupada said somebody has to sing. Is there anybody? Asked Tamar Krishna Goswami. I said, yes, I can sing. You play harmonium? Yes, I play harmonium. And so I sang, and Prabhupada liked it. And then by the end of the 2 hours, he said, let him come back tomorrow. And so I sang the next morning from 2 o'clock in the morning to 8 in one piece. That's a lot of singing, alone, sitting there and singing. And every time Prabhupada I came to that Prabhupada wanted to take rest after, at 8 o'clock in the morning, he said, let him come back tomorrow. So somehow or other I sang every single day for Prabhupada for 3 weeks. I sang in the morning, he left in the evening. That was purely Prabhupada's mercy. And so now, since you asked me some very personal question, the most sensational thing after all this, when Prabhupada was put into Samadhi, there was a stick on Prabhupada's head, a bamboo rod. It was meant to locate the body. When the earth first salt, then sand, and then they made a mound around this stick and pulled the stick out. I was standing there and I looked at it and I saw the hole fell in. At night. True story. That hole opened and became like a chimney. And I looked down the chimney and I saw Prabhupada's form. And then Prabhupada came in a very beautiful form. Very beautiful, translucent form. In a very translucent form. And he said, they think that I'm dead. And then he disappeared. And so it took me some time to understand this, that Prabhupada is still here. And there are witnesses for it. Our Chandramani Maharaj, he's reading Bhagavad, Krishna book and Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam every day. And he told me a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, while he was reading, all of a sudden the atmosphere changed. He stopped reading, looking up. And then Prabhupada's voice came in and read for him where he had stopped reading for 5 minutes. And then the voice faded away, which is a proof that Prabhupada is here. He's in his books. We can associate, you may think I'm a second generation devotee. How can I associate with Prabhupada? Through his books. How do we associate with Krishna? Through his name. We have the facility to directly associate with Krishna and with Prabhupada through chanting and hearing. The same facility we had in our times. So we can make that true by performing devotional service. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.